Hi, my name is Lev Perry. I'm the Director of Product Management, and we're here at Universal Audio in Scotts Valley, California. The company already had a really good reputation in both fields, the analog and the digital, but Apollo was the first time that they ever tried to really marry the two together. Since I've been at Universal Audio for the last 5 years, we've put out a bunch of different models, just always improving on the designs and trying to make the software even better, and it's been pretty cool. We put out the Apollo, then we came out with the Apollo 16. Last year we came out with the Apollo Twin, and definitely all in response to different places that people wanted to use this low latency technology and our converter technology. Obviously with software, the rate of development can happen a lot faster. So there have been way more releases to the software, be it plugins or be it the console or both, than there have been hardware updates. So with the new hardware, this is sort of that same idea of responding to what customers have asked for in Apollo. So this is the new next-gen Apollo range, and if you're familiar with the current range of Apollos, a lot of the same basic ins and outs and features, but again, we wanted to really respond to a lot of what was going on with our customers and their asks for Apollo. So one of the major additions is this guy on the bottom here. Again, it looks almost identical to what we call the Apollo 8 now. The Apollo 8 is available in duo and quad. It's got the 4 mic pre's, the 8 total line ins, 8 AT IO, SPDIF IO, 2 headphone jacks, 2 high Z's. And again, the Apollo 8P is very similar, except that it has 8 unison mic pre's. And so this was really a big ask. People who wanted to actually track a drum kit, for example, before their only option if they wanted to use this new unison technology was to get 2 Apollo duo or quads. While you can still do that with the new range, this Apollo 8P can accommodate 8 microphone inputs at once using something like the UA610 emulations, the classic tube console, or using the Neve 1073s or the API Vision. So this is a really big deal because you'll be able to actually track that drum kit or maybe track drums plus a scratch guitar or something like that. In addition, you also have the 8 AT IO on this guy, so you'll be able to get 8 more line inputs and outputs via some external converter. Or again, really the cool new thing that we've just shown off at NAMM was our Apollo expanded software. And this is really the ability to take multiple Apollos, aggregate them via Thunderbolt, and really not give up anything. You're gonna get all your headphone jacks, all the 8 AT IO, and just really expand your system. So even with, say, 2 Apollo 8Ps, you could have 16 digitally controlled mic preamps with unison technology on the input, just a really powerful studio or mobile rig if you wanted to take it out. The last box in the line, really our flagship converter, is the Apollo 16. And it's got improved D to A performance that just rocks. It sounds amazing. But again, all of these things can be aggregated. So, before, you'd have to say that each Apollo sort of, stood alone as something that you would make a choice about. Now with Apollo expanded, and especially the new range of Apollos, you're able to aggregate them and really choose, do you need more inputs and outputs? Do you need more mic pre's? Maybe you just want the classic Apollo that just has a little bit of everything. It's a really nice system. And speaking of the system component, we announced Apollo Twin last year. This isn't being updated or anything. It's really still brand new and sounds incredible. But it's got Thunderbolt on board, and it can actually aggregate with any Apollo Silver or Apollo device. So you can actually add it to it. And one of the really cool things that happens when you aggregate it via Thunderbolt is that the monitor knob can actually control the rack mount device, which is cool because you'll have, the devices in the rack probably hooked up to your speakers, sort of stationary. But this guy can be right in front of you at the mix position, and you can control the monitor gain, you can mute it. But you also have the local I/O. You've got your local headphone amp, which totally works in this aggregated system. You've got your local DI, you can plug your guitar or keyboard right in. And then of course there's 2 unison mic pre's on the back. All of the I/O is still available in this more aggregated world if you should choose to go that route. We've got the 8 unison mic pre's. These are on combo jacks now, so you can plug in mic line devices right in. Then there's 8 outputs on this guy. So I talked about the monitor outputs on here. You can either use them as monitor outputs, which would give you 6 additional outputs, or you can bypass these outputs and just use them as 8 converter outputs, which is really cool. Then you've got your standard word clock, your 8 AT SMUX I/O for 8 channels at 44.1 or 96K, 4 channels at 192K, excuse me. And then we've got the Thunderbolt 2 connection here. All Apollo rack mount devices have an external power supply that allows us to keep the devices fanless and quiet in your studio. Moving up to the Apollo 8, this has got your standard configuration of 4 unison mic pre's on combo jacks, and then 4 additional line inputs. We've got the monitor outputs and then 8 additional line outputs, which is really cool here. So 2 more outputs than the Apollo 8P. We literally just didn't have the space to make them have the same amount of outputs. The Apollo 8 also has the SPDIF I/O, 192K single wire SPDIF. We've got the word clock I/O, the ADAT, and the Thunderbolt 2, and the power connection. On the Apollo 16, we've got your 16 line in and out on DB25 connectors, industry standard. We've got our monitor outputs on XLR, which is really cool for just connecting directly to your speakers via an XLR cable. Apollo 16's also got AES EBU in and out. The input also has sample rate conversion on the input, which is really cool. If you're running at 96K and you hook up a 48K device, it'll just convert it in real time, which is cool. Then you've got your standard word clock, the Thunderbolt 2, and the power connector. So yeah, that is the new 2015 next-gen Apollo system, and we're really excited about it.